a medical mission serving the poorest communities. Recently, he made a generous donation towards a mobile clinic, a project that soon attracted other contributors. The mission organized a public felicitation for the donors. While others welcomed the recognition, the managing trustee, known for quietly serving without seeking visibility, politely declined the invitation. However, at the instance of many, he eventually agreed to attend, no, but only as a regular guest, seated humbly among the attendees. The function concluded gracefully with dignity and mutual respect. His assistant, observing this quiet detachment, felt reminded of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 5, sloga number 10. ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यतेन स पापेन पद्मपत्र विमांबसा. He who dedicates his actions to the divine and performs them without attachment remains untouched like a lotus leaf in water.
Yeah, I got it.
The managing trustee's self-effacing conduct was not just humility in action. It was the Gita's wisdom embodied, giving without claiming, acting without ownership. Suppose we only read this sloka and the meaning. It is a philosophy.
When
But
applied, that becomes
when somebody has applied, oh, it is possible. It is possible. It is not a philosophy. It's not a textual declaration. We will move to the next. One afternoon, a young employee, upset over a minor issue, stormed into the assistant manager's cabin and vented his frustration in a loud, disrespectful tone, well beyond the bounds of decorum, our own experience. The assistant manager, instead of reacting, listened patiently. With calm composure, he addressed the concern, even went so far as to express regret for the misunderstanding. His quiet dignity and the willingness to come down to the employee's level diffused the tension. The young man, moved by this unexpected empathy, instantly realized his own impulsiveness. With visible remorse, he apologized. Assistant manager gently patted his back and said, "Let us move on, forget about it." Later, the employee reflected on the incident and recognized that it was not a lecture, but the example that corrected him. He recalled the essence of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 12, sloga number 13. Adveshtha sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evaja nirmamo nirahankara samadukka sugakshami. One who bears no hatred, is friendly, compassionate, free from ego and possessiveness, and balanced in joy and sorrow. Such a one is dear to me. In that small cabin, a living embodiment of the Gita helped turn conflict into correction and reaction to reflection. Hari Om Ashokji. Sit down, sit down. Sit down. Come. So this is the way in which this is woven. No? Yeah. Weaving in values, weaving in the sloga with our experience. Experience which you have heard, which you have seen, which you have experienced. Then Gita enters into us, or we are entering into Gita. One more we'll try and then come back. A retired father sat quietly with his grown-up son on the porch. The chirping of a bird caught his attention, and with childlike curiosity he asked, "What is that sound?" He cannot see. The son, absorbed in his novel, replied curtly, "It's a parrot." 10 minutes later, the father asked again. The son, irritated, repeated the answer, this time a bit more sharply. When the same question was asked a third time, The son lost his patience. How many times do I have to repeat myself? The old man said nothing. He quietly went inside, pulled out an old diary, returned with a page marked 20 years ago. Handing it to his son, he asked him to read it aloud. The son read, "Today my little boy asked me 20 times what a bird sound was. Each time I answered him with joy, hugging him closer." He was the son. The son was stunned. Words caught in his throat. He hugged his father as a mark of atoning his mistake. This quiet strength and emotional vastness of the father reminded a listener of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, sloka number 70. Apuryamana machala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnodi nakamakami. Just as the ocean remains full and unmoved despite rivers merging in it, so too is the one who remains undisturbed amidst life's demands, the one who attains true peace. Like the ocean, the father did not react to the waves of irritation. He absorbed them in silence, anchored in love. And in that moment, his stillness taught more than 1,000 words ever aloud.
Swamiji, you must have heard S. Rannath was Chief Secretary Karnataka. Incidentally, I mentioned the name of Aldipur Mama. He stood up.
The moment you hear.
The moment I mentioned Aldipur Mama's name, he stood up. He was the senior most IAS officer. I was working under him, right under his nose. How do you know? How do you know Aldipur Sahib? He is worshipped by all IAS officers in the whole country. He said that. I want to go to his house, he said. On the way, my residence, I will take you, sir, in my car. No. I will take my car and bring him here. Then I went to Aldipur Mama and told that Yashwar Rannath wants to come and collect you to the office and all. No. He's a very big man. See the humility. He's a very big man. He has got a job to do. I don't have any job. Though he was a governor, imagine. Then I went and told Rannath the same thing. Aldipur took his own car. He didn't allow the driver. My driver, I asked my driver to take my car to home. And then I accompanied him to. Half an hour he did not sit in the chair, that Yashwar Rannath. And he said, he is a celebrity. I say, Mr. Lord, I don't know, he's a celebrity.
Every time.
Because you have seen Aldipur Mama.
Oh.
That's why I reminded.
We had some problem in the
end.
Finance Ministry. 20-25 years back. One certificate they have not issued. It got held up somewhere. So there is a retired UP Chief Secretary, then UP, not this today's DP, Uttarakhand and all these things were there. Our Chief Secretary, Satsang, we know him through Bhagavad Mama. He settled down in Delhi. So we went, he immediately said, I will take you. So both of us went to the North Block, South Block, North Block. As soon as people saw him, they gave him space. And then we were taken to the top man. Then he introduced us. He's from Anandashram. He has a problem. He explained. He immediately called his subordinates. Find out any paper from Anandashram trustees lying here. In half an hour they came back and said, no, absolutely no. Then he said, it must have been lying in Calcutta office. You ask somebody, some of your devotees, to go there and see that it is sent to us. The moment it comes next day, you will get the order. And we were very happy to come back. Then Saxena told us, all this because of Haldipur Mama.
Oh, I see.
He is Haldipur Mama's colleague.
That's right. Even the former governor of Karnataka, that Chaturvedi was.
So Haldipur Mama means, he is an institution, not an individual. Anyway, coming back. So the old man said nothing, 20 years. Today my so Apuryamana machala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakama kami. So in our day-to-day life, we are seeing this. So how to bring it? When somebody shouts, we keep quiet. because of something on his head, he is doing it. He's a good person. He's little short-tempered. Allow him to do that, and slowly we hear. These are all taught by Bhagavad Gita. Next. One morning, an elderly father, recently affected by mild Parkinson's, joined his son, an executive, and daughter-in-law for their usual breakfast. While sipping his coffee, his trembling hand caused a few drops to spill onto the son's neatly pressed shirt. Instantly, the daughter-in-law reacted sharply. It is high time we consider moving him into an old age home. Her frustration stemmed from concern, but the words stung. The son, caught between roles, stayed silent. Both worked full time, and the father, though loved, now seemed like a logistical burden. They found a well-equipped elder care facility and decided to visit it on Sunday. Their 10-year-old son insisted on joining them. After touring the place and agreeing it would suit the elderly man, the child calmly shared his reason for tagging along. I wanted to see this place so that I can keep you both here when you grow old. His innocent remarks struck like lightning. Silence fell. The truth dawned. Aging is not a misfortune. It is a natural progression. They returned home with tears and humility, apologized to the old man, vowing to care for him with love. In that moment of awakening, the essence of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, sloka number 13, came alive. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehandara praptihi dhiras tatra na muhyati. Just as the soul passes through childhood, youth, and old age in this body, so too it moves on after death. The wise are not deluded by this. What the mind resisted, the child's heart revealed. Old age is not an error to be corrected, but a stage to be respected. The Gita once again had spoken through the voice of innocence. So these are all some of the ways by which we are trying to integrate Bhagavad Gita with the day-to-day life. For the sake of latecomers, we are trying to link it. When Papa says, Papa has placed before us a triune path called Nam Seva Dhyan. What should be our attitude while involved in Seva? Nama is to remember him, Seva is to remember him, Dhyana is to remember him. So if we have to have a right perspective while reacting to events, individuals, objects, what should be the mindset? There comes the relevance of Bhagavad Gita. That is why Papa strongly advocates that we should go through Bhagavad Gita. Because he was not undergoing any what you call Vedadhyayanam. Then why did he say that? He has written in an article that it is a mosaic of eternal values. There is nothing that it has not touched. It is given to a man on the field. These are all Papa's words. So why did he say that? We again pondered over it. That means to have the right attitude while involved in our activities, right from the moment we get up in the morning till we retire to bed. We should have the right mindset. Normally it is not like that. Our individual evaluates. But here it's something deeper than that. So for that, Gita helps. And today, none of us are making advantage of because we don't know Sanskrit. We revere that book, that's all. We keep it there. If anybody says, we take it there. Yes, Bhagavad Gita is with me. But we don't bring it because we have not still understood that it has got direct to do with my family life, professional life, social life. Here is an attempt now being made. to connect it with these three tiers of life, plus the individual life. These are some of the examples. So the methodology we tried was, first we parade before us all that experience we have gone through, and then try to go through the Bhagavad Gita book with an earnest prayer to Gita Ai. Please guide me. And at a particular sloga, you will find there's a break. Then you stop, think, connect it with this, then go through, read, ponder, then start typing. That is how all these things have come. Next one. A schoolboy, on the morning of his final exam, stood at the bus stop ready to leave. As he waited, he casually scrolled through his mobile. Engrossed in the apps, he did not notice the bus arrive and leave. Panic struck. After frantic fretting and blaming himself, he rushed to school by auto rickshaw. By the time he arrived, exam had begun. The examiner reprimanded him for his carelessness, but seeing his distress allowed him to take the exam. Though he made it just in time, the experience left a lasting impression. Later, a well-wisher gently explained the deeper lesson behind this incident, quoting Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 18, slogan number 39. Yadagre chanubande cha sukham mohanam atmanah nidralasya pramadortam tattama samudahritam. That pleasure which seems sweet at first, but ends in confusion, born of laziness, sleep, or negligence, is said to be Bhagavad Gita.
No, this is negligence. The boy.
Eh?
The boy's negligence.
Negligence. Is said to be the nature of ignorant tamas. So when the tamas takes hold of us, this is how it expresses. So Bhagavad Gita is showing the torch. Hey, this is that. What began as a moment of casual indulgence sabotaged a crucial life event. The student realized that distractions disguised as comfort often come with a steep cost. True happiness lies not in escape, but in presence and responsibility. So many creative ideas.
Swamiji, I was addressing a very big gathering. A question was posed to me. Where was the time for Krishna to teach Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? In the middle of the battlefield. In the middle of the battlefield, where was the time to teach Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? I said, which is not possible for the divinity.
We are looking at it in a different way.
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita, actually, it has happened or not, what Bhagavad Gita conveys to us through when we go through the stanza.
Of course.
Lord Krishna is the life force in us. We call it as God or Atman or Brahman or subtle and mysterious power, whatever we call it. Arjuna is the sense of individuality, always tossed in rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes, pleasure and pain, gain and loss. Pandavas are the positive values. Kauravas represent the down-pulling values. And Mahabharata or Kurukshetra is within our mind. So every time this goes on. Because the questioner, we cannot blame him.
Oh, I see.
Because the questioner, when you start chanting and going through it, how much time it takes for you? And what are all the emotions he has expressed? So it will take more than 3-4 hours minimum. 700 stanzas,
Yeah, I know.
700 stanzas. So then we don't question.
Yeah.
It may be, may not be. What is the use of establishing it? But suppose we approach the Bhagavad Gita in this manner, we are comfortable.
Swami, ഒന്ന് പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ?
ആ
ഒരു ഗുരുവിന്റെയും ശിഷ്യന്റെയും ഇടയില്
ഏ
ഗുരുവിന്റെയും ശിഷ്യന്റെയും ഇടയില് മൗനം അതിന് കാലം വേണ്ട, എത്ര സമയം എടുക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ളത് ആ മൗനം ഇത് മുഴുവനും ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യാമല്ലോ.
ചെയ്യാം, അല്ല അങ്ങനെയും ചെയ്യാം. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ നോംസ് വെച്ച് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇത് അവിടെ വെച്ച് ചെയ്താൽ ഇതിന് ഉണ്ടാവുമെന്നെല്ലാം വരും. അത് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കാം, ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ടായിരിക്കാം. നമുക്കെന്താ ഗുണം അതിനെ കൊണ്ട്? അങ്ങനെ ആലോചിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഈ ചോദ്യങ്ങളെ വരുന്നില്ല. No, she said, in Mauna, there is no kalam, there is no time. When the stillness, there is no time. So he represents that stillness, which is beyond time, which can cross over time. Anything can happen at any time. But it may not be that easy for an ordinary man to conceive, unless he has a taste of the stillness within. Now when we ask somebody, what do you see? It's a book. Then? Letters. We only see letters. We don't see whiteness. Whiteness is the base. Similarly, stillness is the base. Everything happens on that. Stillness in whiteness, it can be come in or get out. Come in can give you joy, get out can give you pain. But this is innocent. It remains. Similarly, stillness is the ultimate, which is beyond time and space. Nobody is there to sell time or space there. He will say that in one of the slokas also. So that is another aspect. That also we can take it like that. But we approach it in this way so that easy for us to understand. Different gunas are there in us. Positive aspect is there, negative aspect is there, cravings, infatuation, weakness is there, virtues, all those things are there. So 16th chapter, when we go through that, Vinoba used to say, two armies, Devi Sampat and Asuri Sampat. There 24 Devi Sampat are there, and Asuri Sampat. What all we do, it has been practically brought out there. And then he says, you have to choose. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Abhayam, fearlessness out of purity, not out of adventurism, fearlessness out of purity, ending with humility. All these things are packed in these 700 slokas. So we take it that with instead of arguing in our mind about what had happened 6,000 years ago, in 2025, in my present field, how does it help me? It might be more acceptable. The other thing may be there. We are not questioning. But we are not interested in that. We are interested in the present day life. How to improve the quality of my life. How to remain peaceful, calm, harmony, peace and harmony, how do I maintain? How do I have a proper human relationship with family, in the workplace, with the friends? If everyone thinks about it. Because these are the three tiers, every day one passes through. Family, profession, society. If we have got right relationship, we are happy, they are also happy. So how to improve that? So we are approaching Gita to give us some clues. Then Gita says, I have already taught you through so many experiences. Now I want you to bring it out and connect it to me. I have already given you. Instead of teaching you and then looking at it, I have already given you all this. These are all incidents like that. So, terminal exam, the last one. Two patients, both blind, shared a hospital room. One of them had his bed next to a window, and every day he described in vivid detail the beautiful scenes outside. Looking. Children playing, trees swaying, colors of the sky, painting pictures that his roommate, though blind, cherished it deeply. Roommate is blind. Through these moments, both felt joy and connection with the world beyond. This continued for over a month. Then one morning, he, the patient who described the scene passed away. The surviving patient, he is not blind. Surviving patient, feeling a great void, asked to be moved to the bed by the window, hoping to hear and feel what his friend once described. But then, when he turned his face toward the window, he was shocked. It looked out on a thick blank wall. The nurse quietly explained he too was blind, but he spoke what you longed to hear. To comfort you. In doing so, he gave both of you something beautiful and hold on to. When this episode was shared with a friend, it reminded him of Bhagavad Gita 12, chapter number 12, sloga number 4. संयमेन्द्रियाग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते पाप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः. Sarvabhutahite rata. Having controlled their senses, balanced in thought, devoted to the welfare of all beings, such souls attain me alone. So this person, blind man, how to serve others? To make at least one more person happy. The departed patient had no sight, but infinite vision. He lived not for himself, but for the joy of another, a true expression of seeing the divine in selfless service. So these are all the 10, first 10, no? First 10. First 10. We will go to the second 10, okay. Half an hour is there. Shivanandan, a retired military officer from Kozhikode, lives a quiet. അതായോ അപ്പോൾ ഗീതായി അപ്പോൾ 8 ആയി അല്ലേ? എപ്പോഴും The soft morning rays crept into the kitchen, but they could not warm the chill between Veer and his father, Veer's son. For a week, their breakfast table had been a battleground of silence. The reason was simple yet powerful: a mobile phone. Veer, like many teenagers, longed for one to match his friends. His father, a man of principles, insisted that he wait and earn it. The argument had left their bond frozen, words replaced by cold glances. That morning, Veer and his father drove to college in silence. At a red light, a street boy appeared at their window, his face bright with hope, holding up colorful table mats for sale. Veer, half out of boredom and half out of irritation, rolled down the window. With a mocking tone, he asked, "What are you saving for?" The boy's eyes sparkled. "For a mobile, to gift to my father. He worked so hard selling vada pav. I want to surprise him." Veer was stunned. Words hit him with a force that melted his resentment. He took the mats as his father paid Unable to meet his father's eyes, a wave of shame and realization swept over him. His mind, which had been tossing with anger and stubbornness, suddenly stilled. His father, sensing the change, asked quietly, "Are you okay, son?" Veer could not hold back. He broke down, hugged his father tightly. The day's plans were forgotten. Instead, they found a street stall, shared vada pav together, heart to heart. The silence now filled with understanding and love. Connection to Bhagavad Gita is through chapter 6, slogan number 34. Chanchalam hi manakrishna pramadhi balavadridam tasyaham nigraham anye vayoriva sudushkaram. The mind is very restless, turbulent, strong, obstinate. O Krishna, it appears to me that it is more difficult to control than the wind.
Yeah, naturally.
This is the Veer's struggle was not just about phone, but about the mind's powerful waves: desire, frustration, envy, pride. His mind was restless and stubborn, pulling him away from empathy and love. But in a single moment of clarity, inspired by the street boy's selfless love, Veer's heart opened, the storm within him calmed. The mind is indeed as restless as the wind, easily swept away by desires and emotions. Yet, through moments of humility and compassion, we can find stillness, reconnect with what truly matters. The Gita reminds us mastering the mind is the first step to mastering life and to rediscovering the bonds of the heart. So then the process is now we try to parade before us what we have seen, what we have heard. Many of them we have shared in our visit camps, children. We get it through email or somebody sends it, or we ourselves must have seen or heard or experienced.
There's a booklet.
Story bank. So then, at that time, we did not connect it to Bhagavad Gita. Later on, when we started knowing, oh, all these are right. So that one day we will be able to, without parading, we will be able to connect it with our present life. The mind has to be trained. By hearing it so many times, again and again and again and again.
Mataji's hammer.
Then only we will be able to bring it out. Otherwise, we will not be able to. We will just hear, we will appreciate, we will go nice, that's all. It will not go within. Every month, Rohan received a small sum of pocket money from his father. Unlike many children his age, Rohan had made a quiet vow to himself. A part of this money would always go to help someone in need. It was not about charity for him, it was about gratitude and a way to pass on the love he received from his father. His Sunday ritual was simple, yet profound. Instead of spending his money on treats or toys, he would walk to the local medical shop and simply observe. He looked for someone who might need a little help: a worried mother, a frail elder, or like the Sunday, a sick rickshaw puller shivering with fever. One person handed over a prescription and asked the shopkeeper for the price for a week's medicine. 70 rupees, came the reply. The man's face fell. He pulled out a single 10-rupee note and asked, "How much for one day?" The shopkeeper hesitated. "One day's dose is 10 rupees, but it won't help much." The rickshaw puller replied, "I will work tomorrow and buy more." Moved by the quiet dignity of the man's struggle, Rohan stepped forward, handed 70 rupees to the shopkeeper. "Please give him the full course," he said gently. The man turned, astonished. "Why? You don't even know me." Rohan smiled. "My father gives me pocket money with love. I just try to pass that love to somebody." There was no applause, no crowd, no recognition, just a silent, powerful impact. For Rohan, kindness had become a habit, woven into the fabric of his Sundays. With just a portion of his pocket money, he was healing lives, one Sunday at a time. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 3, sloga number 19. तस्माद् असक्त सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः. Therefore, giving up attachment, perform action as a matter of duty, because by working without being attached to the fruits, one attains the Supreme. See how it get connected. Rohan's actions are a living example of the teaching. He gave without expectation, without attachment to recognition or reward. His kindness was quiet, habitual, selfless, a true act of karma yoga, performed simply because it was the right thing to do. True goodness is found in selfless action, done without desire for reward. As the Gita teaches, it is through such detached, loving service that we touch the lives of others, and in doing so, come closer to the divine within ourselves. A farmer had some puppies he needed to sell. He painted a sign advertising the 4 pups and set about nailing it to the post. Advertising. On the edge of his yard. As he was driving the last nail into the post, he felt a tug on his overalls. He looked down into the eyes of a little boy. Mister, he said, I want to buy one of your puppies. Well, said the farmer, as he rubbed the sweat of the back of his neck, these puppies come from fine parents and cost a good deal of money. I have, I have got 39 cents. Is that enough to take a look? Sure, said the farmer. And with that, he let out a whistle. Here, Dolly, he called. Out from the doghouse and down the ramp ran Dolly, followed by 4 little balls of fur. As the dogs made their way to the fence, the little boy noticed of something else stirring inside the doghouse. Slowly another little ball appeared, this one noticeably small. Down the ramp it slid. Then in a somewhat awkward manner, the little pup began hobbling towards others, doing its best to catch up. I want that one, the little boy said, pointing to the trunk. The farmer knelt down at the boy's side. Son, you don't want that puppy. He will never be able to run and play with you like these dogs would. With that, the little boy stepped back from the fence, reached down, began rolling up one leg to his trousers. In doing so, he revealed a steel brace running down both sides of his leg, attaching itself to a specially made shoe. Looking back at the farmer, he said, You see, sir, I don't run too well myself. He will need someone who can understand. With tears in his hands, the farmer reached down, picked up the little pup. Holding it carefully, he handed it to the little boy. How much? Asked the little boy. No charge. No charge, answered the farmer. There is no charge for love. The world is full of people who need someone who understands. This gesture of the boy is a portrayal of the word Karuna appearing in the 13th sloka of chapter number 12 in Bhagavad Gita. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evaja nirmamo nirahankara samadukka sukakshami. He who has no hatred for any being, who is friendly and compassionate, free from possessiveness and ego, balanced in pleasure and pain, and forgiving, such a one is dear to me. The boy shows Karuna and Maitri toward the weak puppy. His love is selfless, without expectation, nirmama. He sees beyond appearance, acting from a place of inner understanding rather than pity or superiority. The farmer, in turn, responds with love and generosity, echoing the same spirit. There is no charge for love. We are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita through live experience. It is not a text. We are at least slowly trying to recognize. It is not a text to be read and kept. It is to be pondered over and integrated with our daily life. A 9-year-old boy sat quietly in a classroom when suddenly a dreadful realization struck him. His pants were wet, and a small puddle had formed beneath his chair. Fear and shame gripped his heart. He could already imagine the laughter, the teasing, the isolation that would follow. With his head bowed, he prayed sincerely for a miracle. Just then, his classmate Susie walked by, carrying a bowl of water for the class plants. In a moment that seemed accidental, she stumbled and spilled the entire bowl onto his lap. The class erupted in surprise, but now the attention was on Susie's clumsiness rather than the boy's accident. The teacher rushed over, helped the boy change into dry clothes, and the other students cleaned up the mess. The boy's shame was quietly transformed into sympathy, and he was spared to the ridicule he had feared. But now the mockery turned towards Susie. Her classmates called her clumsy and foolish, laughing at her for the rest of the day. As the final bell rang and the classroom emptied, the boy approached Susie and whispered, You did that on purpose, didn't you? Susie smiled softly and replied, I wet my pants once too. In that moment, the boy understood. Susie's compassion had not only saved him from humiliation, but had come at the cost of her own comfort and reputation. She saw his pain as her own, acted not out of pity, but out of a deep sense of empathy and oneness. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 13, sloka number 28. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra, samavasthitam ishwaram, nahinam nasti atman atmanam, tato yati yatam param gati. Oh, here is something else. Samam sarveshu bhudeshu, tishtantam parameshwaram, vinashyanda avinashyanda, ya pashyati sapashyati. They alone truly see who perceive him accompanying the soul in all beings equally. Very important. Equally, like me, and who understand both to be imperishable in the perishable body. Susie's actions beautifully reflect this profound teaching. In the pain of another, she recognized herself and the same divine presence that unites all beings. Her empathy went beyond simple kindness. It was an expression of deep unity, a willingness to share in another's suffering and respond with selfless compassion, even at her own expense. True compassion emerges when we see ourselves in others, acknowledging the shared divine essence within all. As the Gita teaches, those who realize this oneness act with love and empathy, turning suffering into dignity and isolation into connection. Susie's quiet gesture reminds us that the highest vision is to see the divine equally in everyone and to let that vision shape how we live and love. Last one. Vijit always looked up to his uncle. Vijit himself explained to us this. Vijit always looked up to his uncle, a man who had been a constant source of support, affection, and wisdom. Their weekends together were filled with laughter, cricket matches, heartfelt conversations about life. This bond was a cornerstone of Vijay's happiness. Then suddenly everything changed. His uncle grew distant, barely responding to calls or messages. Vijay's mind raced with worry. Did I say something wrong? Did I disappoint him? Has he stopped caring for me? The silence grew heavier with each passing day, and negative thoughts began to swirl in Vijay's mind, making him anxious and restless. Unable to bear the uncertainty any longer, Vijay decided to visit his uncle. When he arrived, he found a very different man. One who looked weary, burdened, sorrowful. After a moment of awkward silence, his uncle finally opened up. His daughter, who had recently married, was going through a painful divorce, and the family was in turmoil. The emotional weight had left him withdrawn and overwhelmed. Only 1 week he borrowed our money, and Vijit realized how his assumption and negative thinking had cost him unnecessary pain. The problem was never his uncle's affection, but his own misinterpretation of the situation. With empathy and understanding, Vijit offered his support, and their bond became even stronger, built now on deeper compassion and trust. Connection to Gita, chapter number 1, shloka number 30. गाण्डीवं संस्कृते हस्तात् त्वक्चैव परिदह्यते न च शाक्नोमि अवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः. My bow, the Gandiva, slips from my hand. My skin burns all over. I am unable to stand. My mind is in a whirl, as it were. Arjuna says. Just as Arjuna's mind was clouded by doubt and fear on the battlefield, leading to confusion and sorrow, Vijit's mind was clouded by negative assumptions and anxiety. The real suffering was not in the situation itself, but in the way his mind perceived and interpreted it. The Gita teaches us that much of our pain comes not from reality, but from the stories and fears that we create within our own mind. Our minds, like Arjuna's, can become restless and clouded by assumptions, leading us into unnecessary suffering. The true path to peace lies in seeking clarity, understanding, empathy, seeing situations as they are, not as our fears paint them. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us often the real battle is within. Wisdom is found when we quiet the mind, open the heart. So we request everyone to kindly ponder over. As we keep on hearing, everybody must be having the Gita in their shelf. Please take it out. Connect with these known examples. Then the mind is slowly trained. The examples are so touching because it is drawn from the daily life. As we were compiling these in Wayanad, Vijit is working in VSET. So all of us sat and we requested them to share. So misunderstanding is the problem in the life. When we said, immediately he said, it had happened to me. He explained. We put it in a different form, that's all. Then we learned this. Oh, correct. So similarly, all of us, especially to the growing generation, if they are motivated to think on these times, they will not hear if you stand slogas. We are in the digital era now. For everything, they don't look up to us. Google Baba will answer everything. So now they need a different interpretation to life. So we ourselves don't know how to guide them. So this is one of the methods by which we train our mind. And then if we are inspired, when we tell them with that inspiration, it will touch and kindle their mind. 100% sure. That is the purpose of probably Papa is asking us to do this. It is for our own sadhana. Why are we sharing it? So that everyone can try to move in their own way. All of us are blessed with so many experiences. Some we have labeled it as negative, some we have labeled it as positive. But each one as we have gone through. Rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes, preferences, priorities. All these things we have gone through. Enough, enough, enough. We have filed it in our mind. It has to be taken out. It has to be woven into this pattern. And when this is woven, and if we are inspired, when we share this, it might inspire others. So that in times of crisis, they will be able to apply it. Eke out the maximum benefit from this. This is the greatest sadhana we can do to Gita Ai. Vinobaji addresses Gita as Gita Ai, mother. Whenever I am in trouble, I go to Gita. Many of you might know, might not know. Gandhiji, in all his busy activities, with all his busy activities, he was busy not only in freedom movement, in so many activities, Khadi movement, Harijan welfare. He found time to go to Himalayas, a place called Kwasi. There, stayed there for 21 days. Kausani. We went there, stayed there for a day. Even a day that prayer meeting, everything is going on. There he wrote small narrative about each chapter. And one thing that attracted was, he named Bhagavad Gita as Anayas. What is that called? Oh, no, 1 minute. Detachment. Anasakti Yoga. Anasakti Yoga. This is what he named. And he did not start from first chapter. He started from 12th chapter. Then he came to first. Because in the 12th chapter, the Lord declares who is my dearest devotee. There he did not say what we are doing traditionally. Adveshta Sarvabhudanam, no? Through these 7 slogas, he brought out the real essence, free from all conventions and conventional practices. He did not say those who wear chandanam, those who put this ochre rope, those who did this, do this ritual, that ritual. No, he only said values. The first sloga is Adveshta Sarvabhudanam Maitra Karuna Evaja Nirmamo Nirahankara Samadukha Sugakshami Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma Dridhanishchaya Mayarpida Manobuddhihi Yomad Bhakta Samepriya. Malice towards none, friendship towards all, compassionate towards all, non-possessive, non-egoistic, equal in dukkha and sukha, Shami, enduring, always contented, always remembering him, well grounded. Samadukha Sugakshami, Santushta Satam Yatatma Dridhanishchaya Mayarpida. Finally, he offers everything to me. To me means through his creation. This is also very important. Adveshta Sarvabhutanam, he writes, Sarvabhutanam. So that means when you revere his creation, you are revering the Creator. Then he keeps on listing about the qualities of a bhakta. Not the traditional one, a temple goer, Ram Nam chanting. No, he has brought out the extract. So Gandhiji picked up this and brought it to the front line, and his Gita narrative comments start from 12th chapter.
So Papa was influenced by Gandhiji.
So these are all some of the things which we wanted to share today. Kindly go through that. Tomorrow also we will share. When we repeatedly hear incidents, slogas, incidents, slogas, incidents, slowly we get habituated to this, provided we get grounded to it. If we are treating it as a casual hearing, it will not have any impact. But if we approach it with this attitude, it has a tremendous impact on our thoughts, words, and deeds, and which will be helpful for us to have harmony at home, at workplace, and with friends.
Swamiji, almost all the incidents are caring for others today,
Ah.
and not even something only self-centered.
Think about it. So these are all the things that the Lord wants, What the Lord wants us is to worship Him, to love Him in His creation. That is why Papa put it in a capsule form. To love all is the true bhakti of God, and to serve all is the real worship of God. At the time of inaugurating the ashram, he made the ideal of the ashram is universal love and service, based upon the vision of this common divinity means common thread. Okay. Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om, Pranam.
Pranam, pranam.
Pranam, pranam.
Pranam, pranam, pranam. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.